Alright everybody, I'm going to show you how to torch fire enamel. A lot of times when people enamel, they enamel in a kiln. We are going to do things a little bit differently and do torch fire enameling. I prefer torch fire enameling because I think it's more fun to be able to watch the powdered glass melt to your metal, whereas in an enameling kiln, you just kind of close the door and wait till it's done and then it's over with. So in my opinion, this one's a lot more fun to work with. So let's go ahead and get started. I brought over my piece of enamel my piece of metal that I have my enameling on. That was from the previous video. And I brought it over on the grate so that I can transfer it easily without getting or moving around any of the enamel. I also brought my palette knife with me. So what I'm going to do first is I'm carefully going to set my grate down actually, and I'm carefully going to transfer my piece from my grate to this tripod here. So you may have to turn it a little bit. Okay. Also notice that I set my tripod, which is this metal piece that I'm resting my metal on top of a brick. So the brick is really important because you want to be able to fire from underneath. So you want to have that height there. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put my safety glasses on, tie my hair back, make sure I don't have any flammable stuff in the way, and then I can go ahead and get started. So I'm going to grab my torch here. So I have my torch in my hand. I'm then going to turn the dial clockwise to turn my torch on, or I should say to turn the gas line on, and then pointing the torch toward my vent. My vent is just right up here. I'm then going to pull the trigger. So you can see the trigger's right here. So you're just pulling the trigger, and then I'm going to push this lock button down to lock it in place. Now you can hear that it's really loud and I see a lot of blue. I want to turn that down a little bit. So I'm going to turn it counterclockwise to get it a little quieter, and I want to soften how much or lessen how much fire is coming out. So I just want to see a little bit of blue at the tip, okay? And that's what I want for enameling. So I'm ready to get started. First off, all you're going to do is start by heating your tripod. Because just heating your tripod up is going to slowly heat your metal piece up, and that's exactly what you want. Once my tripod is heated up, then you want to go from underneath and start heating your metal from underneath. You never, when you're enameling, you never want to go from up above, because the airflow or the torque from your torch will actually blow your enamel out of the way, which can be really dangerous. So you always want to fire from underneath. You want to keep it moving. You don't want to stay in one place for too long. And when you're enameling, you really go into 3 different modes. So you start at what I call snow, which is the powdered glass. And then once that snow starts to melt, it turns into what looks like an orange peel. So right now we're just kind of starting to melt the snow look. You can see it starting to turn color. Alright, now it looks like an orange peel. It's not glistening yet, but it's more kind of waxy. And then the third stage is glass. So we want to get it to that glass look. So once it's nice and shiny, like it looks now, that's perfect. We know that it's done when it looks like hot glass. So I'm going to go ahead and turn my torch off. So just pull and release. Put the torch away. You want to also make sure before you walk away that you turn it all the way to the left. So counterclockwise, that turns it off. and you want to let it cool. So I'm going to take my palette knife and I'm going to take it off of, really carefully take it off of the tripod here. But you can see it's like that nice glass look. You can see it up close. I'm just going to set it off to the side by the sink to let it cool. I do not yet want to put it in anything cold. Like a lot of times when you solder, you like quench it to cool it off. You don't want to do that because the glass will crack. So you want to let it cool off naturally.